You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 224 with Zachary Hedges. And today we're talking about automating your life with a little bit of artificial intelligence.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
What is going on in your world today, Men of Abundance? I am Wally Carmichael, your founder and host of the Men of Abundance podcast. Today is such a fun conversation for me because I absolutely love automation. I love technology. I love little gadgets and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of the automation that I have in my life and in my business. But before I do that, I want to give you the opportunity to be abundant in your life today by paying it forward to others in your circles, others in your area, and just people that you care about. Because other people that you know want to listen to these conversations and want to benefit from these conversations just like you are. So be abundant in your actions today by paying it forward and sharing Men of Abundance with everyone you come in contact with. And oh, by the way, make sure you go to iTunes or whatever podcast player it is that you're listening to this on and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave a rating and review so that I can know exactly what you're getting out of Men of Abundance. And that little action right there will push us up in the ratings in iTunes, on the search engines, so other men and women can find Men of Abundance. Yes, I said women because about 48% of the listeners of Men of Abundance are women, and they do leave rating and reviews, they do leave comments, and they are digging it as well. So check this out. When it comes to automation, and it comes to just making things a little bit easier in my life, and quite frankly, a little fun, I absolutely love automation. For instance, I've got Google Home, which turns on some of my lights. I just talk to Google, I'll turn on the living room lights, or turn on the bedroom lights, turn them off, dim them, play what music I want to play. It does all kinds of stuff around the house. I've got Ring. This is one of my favorite automations. I absolutely love this. I was literally just watching some videos of some neighbors who were posting videos of suspicious activity and capturing thieves in the act, and providing these videos to police because Ring, if you don't know what it is, it's a doorbell. And it's got a video camera on it. And it allows me to answer my door from wherever I'm at, whether I'm in the home or out at the movies or wherever. I get a notification on my smartphone that somebody just rang my doorbell or somebody is at my doorbell. There's motion at my doorbell, and I can turn on the app and I can see who's there, who's lurking around. I can actually have a conversation with them. I can see them in full color and I can record it, but they can't see me, which is really cool. And then, of course, I can hit an alarm if I need to, so it'll sound an alarm, scare them away, and report it to police if I need to. Or if it's one of my neighbors telling me, hey, my garage door's open, then, if I forgot that, then they can do that. Automation for the garage door as well. Awesome. So in my business, I've got automation that I use that is unbelievable. As a solopreneur, meaning I'm a one-man show basically over here. So I'm managing Men of Abundance, the podcast. I'm managing the Abundance and Prosperity Mastery and my coaching business. I need as much help as I can possibly get. And I can think of no other way to do that than to automate as many of the mundane yet very necessary tasks as possible. Just to give you an idea of everything that I automate, this is just a few things. So these first three systems that I use are all created by a genius. His name is Hanny Mora. And I will have his information and the links for each of these in the show notes at menofabundance.com/224. But the first one is called Simple Social Press. What this does is it auto adds my Facebook live videos to my WordPress vlog and website instantly. And here's the cool thing. It doesn't just add the video. As I'm on the Facebook Live and I'm communicating and people are commenting and they're adding links and whatever, if I had to ask them to add a link or they're communicating with me back and forth, they're giving me hearts and all this kind of stuff and likes, all of that gets posted in the blog at the same time. So it's automatically posted to the vlog with comments and the whole bit. For those of you who are bloggers out there or vloggers, you know how important it is to have comments on your posts, on your videos, on your blog. And they're already there and they're not spam. They're actual comments. What that does is that further boosts the SEO, the search engine optimization of my site and of that particular blog. The next one I use by Hanny is called SimplePodcastPress. I couldn't live without this thing. It automatically adds my podcast to my WordPress site, of course, so that people can click on it and listen to it. And it also adds to other podcast platforms and allows listeners to listen, share, comment, and add their info if I request it. The third one that Hanny has created that I use, and I absolutely love this one, and anybody can use this, is called Repurpose. Now, if you create content, any kind of content, if you create video or a blog or anything that you do or audio, it's always important to repurpose that content. So for instance, if I do a live video and I have it transcribed, then I can put it in a blog so that it can pick up the SEO, search engine, all that spider stuff. And then I can go back and get from my blog, I can get that content and I can create a course out of it, or I can create a book out of it, or an ebook, or whatever the case may be. Well, a lot of that stuff is very, very time consuming. And you can pay other services to do this for you, but the way Repurpose works is it instantly and automatically adds my podcast and Facebook Live videos to Facebook pages and groups I'm associated with. And here's the other cool thing. It also auto-uploads my podcast and Facebook Live videos to my YouTube channels. That is huge. And it also adds hashtags, whatever hashtags I want to put in it, depending on what venue I want it to go to has a certain hashtag, and then all the other hashtags. All of the content, which adds to the SEO. I mean, this is simply amazing. So again, I'll have that link also in the show notes. So make sure you go check that out. The other one, I've got many more, but the last one that I'll mention, or last two or three, really super quick. One is called Acuity Scheduling. This is an automated system where all of my clients, podcast guests, mastermind groups, anybody who I'm going to have a personal conversation with, they book their conversation on Acuity Scheduling when I send them the link, or they go to my website and get the link, or however they get a hold of the link, and they can choose the day and the time that works best for them. It automatically adds, of course, to the Acuity Scheduling calendar, but it also automatically adds to my calendar that I have on my phone. So I never have a conflict. And if the client needs to reschedule or cancel, they can go in there and they can reschedule or cancel on their own. I get the notification, they get the notification, and speaking of notifications, they get a reminder the day prior, and then after our conversation, they get a follow-up email that I've created with my links, with calls to action of anything that I would like for them to do next after that particular conversation, regardless of what it is. And by the way, all of this is done and converted in each individual's time zone, which is extremely important. One, because I travel quite often, as do many of the people I have conversations with. So all of us will be on time and ready to go, regardless of what time zone we are in. Now, that's just a taste of the automation that I have in my life and in my business. But our featured guest today, Zachary, has taken automation to a completely different level. I mean, he has added true, authentic, artificial intelligence to automation so that it gets smarter and smarter with every click. And when I saw what Zachary was doing, I absolutely knew that I needed this in my life. So let's get right into the conversation after I introduce you to our featured guest. Our featured guest today is Zachary Hedges. He exhibited a passion for marketing from an early age. He started his first marketing communications company at the age of 16. By the time he was 25, Zachary leveraged his expertise in information architecture, corporate branding, website and software development, and digital marketing to build a diverse client list that included the likes of the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Bennett Group, Old Mutual Investment Partners, Pfizer, Alexion Pharmaceuticals, and Massachusetts Convention Center Authority. In 2014, Zach transitioned into the software as a service arena and launched MDC Dot, in an all-in-one CRM and marketing automation platform built for direct sales companies and their leaders. Through Zach's innovative work, he received 2 U.S. patents. Since then, over 15,000 independent 1099 sales professionals have used his platform to nurture their leads and drive sales growth. Working directly with these small businesses over the years allowed Zach to understand the challenges that most small businesses face in marketing their companies online. This led Zach in 2018 to develop his most innovative and groundbreaking product to date, Pre-Built Marketing AI, the first ever social media marketing technology powered by artificial intelligence that writes your content, builds campaigns for you, and analyzes the results. With the launch of the Pre-Built Marketing AI, Zach is on a mission to help small businesses enhance their marketing strategies and increase sales through artificial intelligence, while providing a vehicle for aspiring entrepreneurs to build residual income in the gig economy. Men of Abundance, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Zachary Hedges. Zach, welcome to Men of Abundance, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Wally. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, my pleasure, man. I've known you for quite some time. It's been a pleasure knowing you. It's been a pleasure watching you work and create. It's so freaking amazing. Where are you at in the world today?
I'm right outside Dallas, Texas, and you know what, Wally, it's been a pleasure to work with you as well, so I'm really excited about today.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. I appreciate that. So before we get started here with our conversation, I like to start out the show just like I start every single morning. As soon as I open my eyes laying in bed, I start out with an attitude of gratitude. What do you have to be grateful for today, Zach?
You know what? My kids, every day I can get up, see their faces walking into school. That's what I'm grateful for, so.
Isn't that awesome? I'm finally in the position to where I'm doing that as well. As of this last June, mid-June, I get a ride. Well, obviously it was summertime, so I just wake up whenever I want to. Now I got to get up in the morning to an alarm clock just to get ride the bike with my boy to school. But man, what a wonderful thing to do.
Yep. No, I love it. So we get to get up every morning, take them to school. It's amazing.
Those moments are so, so important, man. So, I went through your bio a little bit, but I like to ask this question because it's quite poignant and some people kind of get stumped, but I'm sure you want. How would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as a risk taker. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Since, about 17, I never looked back. I was working as a dishwasher while I was learning to build websites, and, I was just like, I can't do this. I gotta take this other passion to the limit. And, but with that comes risk. Every business, every project I've been with, so I would definitely consider myself a risk taker.
Yeah. And I totally get that. And that is true with entrepreneurs, but what a lot of entrepreneurs are looking for, on their journey is any way to mitigate that risk. And you create software, you create the tools to help people in their business, regardless if it's, I know you work a lot with, because that's how I first met with you, is working in direct sales and helping with CRM and other types of software. But how did you get in from that whole process of working on yourself, on your own business, and then working on tools to help other business owners?
Well, what happened was so as I mentioned earlier, I started building websites and doing video editing and graphic design. This was in the early 2000s when I was a teenager. And by the time I was 25, I had been doing that for major Fortune 500 companies, as well as a lot of direct sales professionals and leaders and just all kinds of businesses. And I came across at that time, this was almost 10 years ago, sort of a new emerging technology. It's called marketing automation. And at that time, you only had really, an Infusionsoft and the HubSpots. It's that ability to send emails and trigger communications based on a prospect's behavior online and tracking them individually, and scoring them and doing all that. Now, obviously, 10 years later, there's a lot of those solutions that's becoming more adopted. But at that time, nobody was really doing it. Only the biggest companies had it because it was very expensive at that time. And I saw that and I said, I wanted to bring an easier solution to the marketplace. I wanted to make this more cost effective. I wanted to make it easier. I wanted to build tools that people can use every day. From a personal perspective, I wanted to focus on one project. I was very passionate about it. versus jumping around from, client to client, doing a project here and then changing gears and a project there. So for me, it was about, about a personal being very focused on something, a passion that and a vision that I saw in the marketplace. And then second was I wanted to bring an easier way of doing that particular task.
Yeah, and that's how you and I first got connected. I was in a particular company. The leadership found it necessary to use such a service, and then we got introduced to you and MDC Dot. And in all my years of working with those type of, similar, not really similar systems, but in different types of automation, this just blew my mind, man. When you could start scoring and figuring out, the activities of your customers, or at least those potential customers who are in the system and what they're doing, what they're clicking on, what they're looking at, what they're interested in, and then turn around and feed them the information that they want. I was completely blown away, man. And that's when I knew, when Pete contacted me a couple weeks ago, and he started talking about this other social media marketing site called Pre-Built Marketing. I looked at the video and I started looking at this and I was like, well, who is this that Pete is so excited about? And I was not surprised at all when I watched the intro video and saw you all over it. It just made perfect sense. And I want to talk more about that here in just a minute, because I'm just really blown away by the technology of that. And I know many of our listeners out there who are entrepreneurs are definitely going to want to take a look at this at Pre-Built Marketing. But before we do that, one of the things that I like to ask the question is the kick in the gut moment. And the reason why I ask this kick in the gut moment, Zach, is because those of us who are doing anything in life, especially entrepreneurs, but anybody in general, we all have those kick in the gut moments. And it's what we do with those moments that really make the biggest difference in our life and in our business. And sometimes it even redefines who we are. So if you would, share one of those kick in the gut moments with us and really make us feel that.
Well, in life you have many kick in the gut moments, obviously, at least for me. But I would say a fallout with an ex-business partner. That was definitely a kick in the gut moment. Considered him best friend, and turned out he wasn't, after all these years, the person I thought he was. And so yeah, that was definitely a kick in the gut moment. But what I've always done in my life is when I have those kind of moments, when relationships change or situations change or things change, I try to look at what my role was in that situation, what I could have done better, where I could have done things differently, understanding that I can't control what I can't control, but I can only control my behavior and how I move forward and how I learn from that situation. So that, one, I can be better next time, in whether it's business or personal for that matter. And then, what I can do to mitigate those things from happening again, in the future. So that would definitely be a kick in the gut moment for me.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that because I've been through it as well. And it is painful, and you're absolutely right. I love what you learned from that, and basically what I refer to as the enough is enough moment, where you have to learn from these experiences, guys. I've had multiple conversations, either for Men of Abundance or just in general with clients or people that I've worked with, and they're like, you know what? The guy took me for $500,000, and it was a $500,000 education. I could have gone back and I could have won a lawsuit, but then that would have cost me months of time, more money, and so on and so forth. And sometimes, you want the revenge on that. Your heart and your mind just wants the revenge in that. But what will it cost you in the end? Because when you see people that go through stuff like that and they put themselves, and I mean that, they put themselves through that, their health declines, they lose lose family members, and some of these guys, one guy in particular who was taken by that much, they're still good friends. They just don't do business together anymore. It's just the way it works out sometimes. But you really have to just kind of count your losses and move on. So what else did you learn from that? How did you recover from that?
You deal with it. Like I said, you learn from it. You try to work out the situation and then you just move on. And I just keep trucking, I don't look at, like you mentioned, I don't look at failure. I always look at it as life lessons. I just learn from it, and just go on. So
Yeah, it's always a lesson. There's two ways you can know for sure that, people always say, well, one of the biggest reasons that I hear, and I'm going to ask you this question later about what holds most people back. A lot of people say it's fear, but when you turn it around, what are they fearing? They're fearing failure, and then they're fearing not just the failure, but what other people are going to think about their failure. And like you just said, I love what you just said, that you can't really fail if you take it as a learning point, as an education, no matter what it costs. But the other thing is, if you look at the definition of failure, which is the lack of action, then as long as you're taking action, technically you're never going to fail. Especially when you add in the point that if you don't get the results you were looking for, then it's an education. So just take it and move on, right?
exactly. That's all you can do.
So obviously you've worked with a lot of different types of business owners, and I know, like I said, you and I met because of direct sales and what you're doing with MDC Dot. But moving forward, you learned a lot in working with the CRM and working with many different business owners, and then you came up with this brilliant plan and brilliant software called Pre-Built Marketing. Tell us how that all came about, and what does that do, and who is that specifically for?
Yeah. So, as I said, we built, as you mentioned, 5 years ago, we built our own CRM, marketing automation, email marketing technology, very unique technology that was specific for team selling organizations and direct sales. And obviously that's how we met all those years ago. And what happened is, after working so many years with that technology, getting patents and working through it all and working with almost 20,000 small business owners, most in direct sales, others just business owners in general. About a year and a half ago, I sat back and I said, we have all these great tools. There's all this great technology out there, but what was the one thing I kept hearing from these small business owners? And that was that I have all these tools and technology, but I'm not a writer. I don't know what to say. I don't know what images to pick. I don't know this whole online marketing thing. I don't know what I'm doing, and I really don't have time to learn. One, I don't have the interest to learn because I'm focused on my business, or I don't have the time to learn because I wear 5 or 6 different hats. I'm the accountant and the marketer and the I open the door and I sweep the floors,
Yeah.
right?
Solopreneur.
Or I don't have the funds to pay for an expert, to do my online marketing, to do that. And so I sat around and I looked at what all of the providers out there, and I said, nobody's really done that yet. No software company or company has really, solved the content problem. And that's when I sat back and I looked at it and I said, okay, we want to do this. We want to build a new product. We want a product that is outside of direct sales. I mean, direct sales professionals can use it, but we wanted anybody to be able to use it, from a boutique owner to a real estate agent to a doctor to the person that, cleans your pools. It doesn't matter. Because they all have this problem, or majority of them do, which is an online marketing, social media marketing problem. And so I sat back and said, I want to build a product that not only, can deploy and schedule those posts or deliver that content, but can actually create it for the customer, for the user. And that's when I sat back and I said, we need to use artificial intelligence. That's the future. Your Siris, your Alexas, the computer brain, the machine learning, that's what needs to build this content. That's what needs to write this content for our customers. And that's when I started on a journey of becoming a AI expert, as you would say, and learning about that and integrating that. And that's how we came up with our new product that launches this month, which is called Pre-Built Marketing, as you mentioned. And it's the first, what we believe is the first social media AI content creation tool out there. Pretty much it uses artificial intelligence where our customers can come in. Small business owner can pick a simple category like promoting a sale, or if it's a real estate agent promoting, an open house. All they have to do is fill out a simple questionnaire, click a button, and artificial intelligence builds complete social media marketing campaigns for them. Every post that they need, picks the images for them out of an image library that's over 11,000 as we speak. The artificial intelligence not only, builds the content and the post, but it also recommends how many posts, what times those posts should be sent, So it literally builds a complete social media marketing campaign so that our small business customers can just click a button and go. Now they can be sharing regularly. They can have a social media presence without being experts. It really takes the guesswork out of it. It brings down the time they would have spent if they just had a blank canvas and had to do all this from scratch. And one of the beautiful things about it is that it's because it's artificial intelligence, it learns from its work. So as these campaigns are being built and they're being sent out, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and as those results are coming in, people are liking and clicking and sharing and all that kind of stuff. The artificial intelligence is getting that data back and it's learning from itself. It's self-learning. It's machine learning, and so it's getting smarter on how it should write the post. It's it gets smarter the next time on what images it should use, what times that it should schedule those posts, and what times a day. So it's always self-learning. It's kind of like having a full-time social media marketing expert looking at your social media 24/7 and adjusting on the fly, based on what works and doesn't work. So it's very exciting. Like you said, we believe we haven't really found anybody else that's done it like this yet. Not to say there's other smart people and companies that could be doing it, but we haven't yet seen one. And we believe we're one of the trailblazers and what I believe will be a new subset of the online marketing world, which is AI content creation. I think we're one of the trailblazers. So we're excited to be doing it. Obviously, like, you had discussed, because we come from direct sales, we decided to launch it as a direct sales company. That's our distribution model. So it's very exciting because we could bring in all of those tools and technologies, the MDC dots and all that, into our own business to empower our distributors, our brand partners is what we call them. So it's very exciting. Really, all of the last 5 years of software development, learning, as we talk about the things we did great, the things we didn't do great, the failures, all the good, the bad, it all has come together to be able to bring this product. And so it's very exciting.
Yeah, Zach, when I'm getting the feeling again, just like when I first watched the intro video and the other couple of videos that you have up on the site right now, and that it's you. I literally got butterflies, man, because I'm so excited about this. And I'll tell you guys why I'm excited about it. Because as a business and marketing strategist, most of the stuff that I do is offline. I do a lot of the marketing offline because it's a lost art, and ads and all kinds of stuff. But also I do online stuff as well for these businesses because they have an online presence, but they don't know what they're doing. Even if they're using other services that have, they can set up capture pages and squeeze pages and stuff like that, they don't know how to write the headlines. They don't know how to write the subheadlines. They don't know what images to use. They don't know, all this simple stuff. And then they don't know how to add on the automation to it. And that's where I come in and I help them write that kind of stuff based on hundreds of thousands, just hundreds of and thousands actually of templates that I have already built and designed. But what I plan on doing with pre-built is adding an additional layer for my clients to be able to plug it in, set it up for their business, and just let that part of it run after I already kind of do some of my own stuff that I know is going to work for that industry because I have the data on that. And I'm just super excited about that. And then looking through it, and as I was talking to you a couple weeks ago, is the client can add their own content and their own images to the ads as well. And then does that integrate all of that into the whole system as well?
Yeah, so obviously you have full control, as a customer to create. You can, even if you don't want to use the AI to build your content, you can use the product to build your own content, your own posts. And then when you schedule that post, the AI will still analyze your posts, your custom posts, and give you, insights into, what worked and didn't work. And, as far as from a content perspective and hey, when you use, yellow images versus green images, you get 10% more engagement because yellow makes people feel happy. Those are the kind of insights. That's the kind of stuff that AI is going to be able to tell you. And so you can use that with your custom posts. What you put in the app is what you put in the app. I mean, your custom, content is yours. We do not put that back into the AI or anything like that. The AI writes its own content. We've trained the AI specifically on certain marketing categories. Just to be clear, our AI it's not going to write an opinion about politics for you or write some essay about a certain subject matter. It's not like that. It's The AI has been trained specifically for marketing messages based on certain categories that we've developed and trained. So whether that be for real estate agents, we have over a half a dozen categories. Each category is post to promote a pending sale, post to promote a house sold, post to promote an open house, et cetera, et cetera. When you, as a real estate agent, per se, an example, you want to do that, you click it, it'll write thousands of posts, in some cases, thousands of posts, some cases, hundreds of different posts for that certain subject matter. As we keep training the AIs, as we grow, it's going to get smarter. It's going to be able to write more, and we'll keep adding more sections and more industries and more different types of use cases. We also have the AI can create inspirational quotes. Now, it doesn't write its own inspirational quotes. We have a library, but it will build, a campaign where, you can set up, let's say, 30 days of inspirational posts, a post a day based on a certain subject matter, financial freedom, health and wellness, whatever the case may be. So we're doing a lot of really cool things with it. But yeah, it's definitely for marketing messages. So, for personal branding, as social media is not just about selling or promoting something. It's also about branding yourself, positioning yourself as a thought leader. Our product, you're still going to have to do those things, but our product helps on the other side by filling in the gap when you want to promote things of that nature. So,
right, because what I'm seeing here is, personally, like right now, I use two different services that post automatic posts that I create, and some that I've gotten from other places. They'll post stuff about the podcast and whatnot through Twitter, into Facebook, into different types of platforms out there. And then I've got other services that I use for my autoresponders and different things like that. So you're basically bringing it all into one. And one of the things that people are missing, that I get a lot, many people don't even know what it is. They have the deer in the headlight look. Like, what are you talking about when I talk about A/B testing? And so basically what the system is doing is A/B testing all of the different content that you're throwing out there on the social media networks, right?
Yeah, because what it does is, let's say we had 100 real estate agents all creating posts, within a week, or campaigns within a week, all talking about an open house, right? Obviously, their houses and their locations and their things are all different, but the AI is writing, similar types of messaging to promote the open house, and it's sharing that, and all that messaging is getting shared. When all that data comes in, the AI gobbles that data up and ingests it as it comes back, and it says, okay, well, we use this headline, we use this call to action, but when we used this call to action on 20% of them, we realized that this type of language got better results. So the next time the real estate agents come back again to do the next open house campaign, we're going to be the AI is going to change what, call to actions, what kind of wording it should use and phrases and things like that, because it's going to understand that when it uses these phrases, it's getting more engagement. So it's going to weight that higher, if that makes sense. And so it's going to get smarter. You're going to get, the idea is that through self-learning of the AI over time, this takes data, right? It takes lots of data to constantly coming in, but over time, your campaigns, the kind of campaigns it'll develop are going to be the ones that'll give you the best chance for engagement, because it's learning what works and doesn't work in each specific industry. So what's beautiful is that you don't, as a customer, as a user, you get the benefit of everybody else's involvement, right? Because all of their data is being used in the AI to tell it how to write. So it's not just looking at your personal experience and making a judgment call. It's looking at the data of all users and then making a judgment call. So you get the benefit of everybody's usage to help you get better results.
That's huge, man. That's such a huge time saver, guys. If you're not getting this, let me explain to you very briefly. If you're doing an A/B testing on one ad alone, and you got a headline with a certain color, a subheadline, a call to action, and maybe an image, that's it. It doesn't seem like much, but each time you do an A/B test, you're only going to be able to change one thing about that ad. The color of the headline, maybe the color of the subheadline, the verbiage. You can only change one thing at a time. The image, the call to action, what the verbiage is for the call to action, so on and so forth. And this takes so much time, if you even know how to do it. Otherwise, you're paying somebody to do this for you, which takes them time. And the cost just adds up, and the time and the cost just adds up so quick. So what platforms is this available on right now, Zach? Or are you opening up to anyway this month? And where do you see it going forward?
Well, this is a software as a service, so you would use it on your desktop or your mobile phone. Initially for launch, you'll be able to, use it on your mobile browser. We'll be coming out with very soon, not at launch, but shortly after, native apps that you can download on your Apple and your Android devices. So that's how you'll be able to leverage the app, through your mobile phones and your desktop. As far as the vision of where we want to go. I'm always in the lab, Wally. I've always got, the next great idea and the next extension of where I want to go, with this product. We definitely want to, open it up and develop certain tools and extensions to it for certain industries that we know could really benefit from some further third-party integrations, especially in the e-commerce world. We may have an e-commerce version specific for Shopify and Amazon, the sellers, things of that nature. The beautiful thing is that the heart of the tool, right now, this tool is a social media marketing content creation tool. Obviously, it shares to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. We'll be opening up Instagram and Pinterest post-launch within a few months. But this is an AI content creation tool. It's not, you've heard of buffers and the Hootsuites, and there's lots of social media sharing tools, the tools that you mentioned. And outside of the only thing we have in common with those tools is the fact that we share automatically. We can schedule to those platforms. It's the only commonality. Those other tools, great in their own right, got great features. They don't write and build content. Right. They don't have artificial intelligence that does that. And when you have that content creation mechanism, you really can, we can take this thing in the future to other forms of communication, whether it be text messaging, email, landing page creators, maybe even, full-blown advertisements in Google ads and Facebook ads, actually creating the ads. I mean, there's so many places we can take this to. So we're excited about the future, and we're really excited about our model and working with brand partners and helping them build their businesses so everyone can succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'm super excited for the platform. I'm just crazy excited for you and your team, man, because it's just unbelievable. I know I only have an idea of the work that goes into everything you've done, man, because I'm no techie at all. I'm a user, but I've done some of this stuff myself, and I've hired people to do this stuff. And I know the work that goes into just doing that side of it, but to automate it, that's a whole different level, man. So just hats off to you, man, for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Wally.
Absolutely. So, brother, we're at the point where we're going to pay it forward to our abundant leaders. Ready to do that? All of you amazing small business owners out there, I want to talk to you for just a second. Are you still having fun in your business? Is it still as fun as you thought it would be 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago when you first got started? Chances are, if it's not, it's because you're not making the revenue that you thought you would. You're putting more hours in than you ever imagined that you ever would put into a job. And you're just really just kind of keeping it afloat. And that's not a great way to live. I want to help you with that. I want you to have as much fun as I'm having on a daily basis. I don't know that you'll ever be able to work out of your home like I do because of the nature of your business, but I want you to be able to spend more time with family and improve your health instead of degrade your health through spending more time at work, more time in the business. I want you working on your business instead of in your business. Now, if this is your first exposure to me, chances are you don't know me from anybody. And I totally get it that you would question, who is this Wally guy? What can he really do for me? So here's what I'm going to do for you, for all of you. I'm going to offer you 30 days free into 2 of my programs, my DIY program and my group mastermind program. I'm not going to lay it all out right here because I want to get back to the conversation, but go to menofabundance.com and click on the AP Mastery tab at the top of the page. I've put a short video there introducing myself, and I've put some more information there that you can evaluate and take a look at what it is that I can do for your business. And look, I am willing to work with you for 30 days because I am very confident of the results that I can give you in your business in the first 30 days of you working with me. In fact, on our first 45-minute conversation, I'm going to show you where you have $10,000 to $50,000 hidden in your business. That's child's play for me. I'm not only going to show you where that's at, I'm going to give you strategies on how to uncover that money that's hidden in your business. Now, you can either go to the show notes of this episode or go to menofabundance.com and click on the AP Mastery tab at the top of the page. Now, let's get back to the conversation. So share 1 to 3 actionable steps that men of abundance can take today.
I would say the first one is, don't live in fear of going after your dream. It seems really big, whatever that may be. And it may seem like, how do I get there? But get up in the day and just start. And, it's like a tree. I look at every goal, every time I, build a new product or whatever the case may be. I look at it like a tree. And I take that axe and I just start chopping at that tree, and maybe some days it's a little chunk that you can chop off. Maybe some days it's a big chunk. Maybe you go a couple days, you don't even hit the tree, but you never stop chopping at that tree, because eventually it will come down and you'll get to where you want to be. So that would be one thing. I would say the other thing is be ready for the unexpected. And what I mean by that is when you're on a journey, whether it's entrepreneurship to build a business, one of the things that I've learned is that the way you think it's going to happen isn't always going to go down that way. So give yourself more time. Expect things to not go the way you think they're going to go, so that you're prepared. So be ahead in that way. And a third one. Trying to think of a third one here. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process of building to where you want to get to. It's not always fun. There's a lot of hard nights. There's a lot of challenges, but enjoy the journey of getting to the end goal. That's why you always see these entrepreneurs. The Musks of the world, and this one and that one, who they have all the money, they have all the resources, but they never stop creating. They always set the next challenge because they love the process of getting there, So I guess those are the 3 things come to mind. Hopefully that's beneficial to some out there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It really is, especially enjoying the journey. Look, guys, you're not going to enjoy every single aspect of what you have to do to get wherever it is you're trying to go. But if you don't at least enjoy the journey and the process, then you're not going to stick with it when the days get hard. You're just not. You're just going to give it up. So find something that you can enjoy doing. And like you said, Elon and many of the other folks out there, people ask me all the time, I would see these questions on social media, what age do you think you're going to retire? Or how much money do you think you need to retire? And blah, blah, blah. I don't see me retiring, man. I'm always going to be adding value one way or another. That's just me. And my life is like most people would imagine retirement anyway. Already, I just get to have amazing conversations with guys like you, Zach.
Well, thank you. No, I agree. I can't imagine, ever theoretically retiring. I'll always be creating something. To your point, the difference is you just don't. You have the resources to do it the way you want to do it. That's the difference, right? Because you've built it up. So. But yeah, I'll always be doing something for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what daily habits make the biggest impact in your life?
Something that I've learned more recently than in the past was taking a break and getting a good workout in. Which is something that I didn't do. I was so computer focused on working all day that I would not take the time on my own personal health for many years. I have in the last about year. And, I can tell how much more focused it makes me, how much better I feel, not just physically and healthy, but mentally, to be able to, devote the time. And then I can tell the difference when I go on, maybe 4 or 5 days without getting a workout, and whether that's gym or just going for a nice long walk or just getting up and getting some physical exercise. So I would definitely say take care of your body. It doesn't have to be a gym rat and they're lifting weights, but just get out and walk and take that time, no matter how hectic the day may seem. Or how much stuff you have to do. Take that time because it's important, both mentally and physically.
What are you reading or listening to that you'd recommend that our abundant leaders read, and why?
To be honest, in the last, I say 6 months, I haven't read anything other than technical manuals.
I get it.
So I really don't have like, a book or a recommendation. I wish I did. When you posed that question, I thought, I don't really have anything to say. It's the stuff I would say it puts you to sleep to most people. I mean, if you want some good sleep reading, I can recommend something. But
Like
no.
a pig looking at a wristwatch for me, man.
Exactly. So you'd be like, huh? Yeah, but one thing that I always, at least in the past, appreciated, there was, Sun Tzu, the general from from the past. He always had some great inspirational stuff. And there was a book. It's called Sun Tzu. I actually have it right here. I haven't read it in a while, but it really provided a lot for me when I did. The Complete Sun Tzu for Business Success, and it was translating his teachings into business. And I always like that. I know there's a bunch of books you can find out there, but yeah, that was definitely something in the past that I found some good value in.
Very cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. So what do you feel holds most people back from living a life of true abundance?
I guess from a business perspective, I mean, when you say from abundance, there's many aspects to that, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just this financial or successful. There's, mental and spiritual and things of that nature. I think from a financial or being happy or taking that step from from what they do in their lives. A lot of people go to jobs that they hate, right? But they have to make a living, right? They have no passion in it, and it pays the bills, and they want to sit there and they want to be able to work, from the beach or be retired early or have that type of freedom. And I think for a lot of people, they want it, but they don't realize the work it still takes to get it. The difference is when you put the work into it and you build it, you can reap the rewards, right, for a long time, and have those type of freedoms. And I think that the fear, as you mentioned earlier, it's fearful. It's time, most people can't make that journey a full-time journey, but don't be fearful of it. Go for it. Chop the tree down one bit at a time. Don't get discouraged if whatever you're into or whatever you're trying to build doesn't happen quickly, or you don't find customers quickly, or whatever it is. Just keep chopping it, keep learning from what's working and not working, and then develop. And sometimes, as they say, you gotta fake it till you make it, right? So just keep working and moving forward, and don't let the fear of failure stop you. That's what I would say. So.
Yeah, that's huge. One of the things you were talking about that kind of hits me, and I like to bring this up once in a while, is when you're working your full-time job and you're not that passionate about it, you can find passion in it through just knowing that it's paying the bills. For me, because just consider not having that job and not paying the bills. That would suck. But then if you take it to the next level and you do a little something on the side, a couple days a week, maybe on a weekend or every other weekend or something like that, whatever your time, that's not taking too much time away from family, leisure time, and exercise. When you start earning a little bit of extra money that takes the pressure off at home, then that job doesn't seem so arduous anymore. It doesn't seem so bad anymore, because you go to work every day with a different mindset, knowing that you're building something of significance on the side, and something that is adding a little bit of cash to your home. I mean, $500, $800 a month is a significant difference in many people's lives, and really makes things a lot easier. And it makes you going to work a little bit easier, just because you're not as dependent on that paycheck as you originally thought you were. What are your thoughts on that, based on all the people you've worked with over the years, Zach?
Oh, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, and you're right. It is about a mindset of how you look at things. And I think, you mentioned it earlier, finding something that you have passion for, I think is really important. Something you can, you're excited about, you believe in, you can see, yourself being involved in that business or that, activity. Because to your point, it will allow you to look at your 9-to-5 job that you have to pay the bills, take care of your family in a different way. It won't feel such like a burden or an appendage. It's more of, I'm doing this to get to this, so I can build this. This is what I do right now so that I have the ability to build that, and then it'll fuel you more. And what happens is, as I said, you keep chopping that tree down, you start getting some wins. They could be small wins. Oh, like you said, you're building up a little side income from nothing to $50 a month, to $100 a month, $200 a month. That's going to fuel you, and it's going to allow you to have that mindset. It's really about your mindset and frame of mind. And it's tough sometimes, as we're all human, and you can be, dialed in 1 minute and then thrown off the next. And when that happens, it's how do you get yourself back dialed in again, So no, I agree. Definitely the way you look at things is important. So
yeah, mindset is absolutely everything. Well, you already talked a little bit about it, but I want to ask you and bring it all in here. What does living a life of abundance mean to you, Zach? Time to do the things, spend time with my boys, being able to travel, those things, and just enjoying, for me, getting up and, being alive every day, I think is part of, a life of abundance, right? There's a lot of people that don't get, they die early. They don't get to enjoy that. And I think, being thankful for what you have, from the get-go, I think is the point that I'm trying to make, will allow you to, maybe go to those next levels that you're looking to do. Being humble. Those are the things the models that I try to live by. And I think that allows me to have a life of abundance. So wonderful. Absolutely love it. So we're going to close this up, brother. Before we do, what did we not talk about? Do you want to ensure that our abundant leaders get out of our conversation? And we will definitely be having your websites linked up in the show notes at menofabundance.com. So what did we not talk about? You want to ensure that our abundant leaders get out of our conversation today?
I don't know. I think we've hit a lot of great points, and hopefully your listeners have found value. I appreciate their time for hearing our conversation, and I wish them all the best success and luck, and with their endeavors.
Absolutely wonderful. I appreciate that, man. Now I want you to go out and live your life of abundance. Keep paying it forward, because I know you're making a huge difference in a lot of people's lives with all of the software and the website and everything that you're building. Is just simply amazing. And I greatly appreciate the conversation today, Zach.
Well, thank you, Wally, for having me. I really appreciate being on. And thanks again. Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys, before I get into our action steps today, I want you to understand that I'm not into taking shortcuts. That's not what automation is about. Automation is about taking some of those mundane tasks that have to be done within your life and within your business. And some of the stuff is just fun, but making your life a little bit easier and freeing up some of your time so that you can get to work on revenue producing activities or spend more time in your life doing the activities that you enjoy doing. So your action step today, I would really love for you to share in our Men of Abundance community. And if you're not a member of the Men of Abundance community, make sure you go to menofabundance.com and click on the members only tab at the top of the page. And men, this is for men only, to gain access to the Men of Abundance community. But I want you to post in there what you're going to automate in your life this week or this month. And if you have a business, I strongly encourage that you incorporate some of the automation that I mentioned today in your business. And if you want to get the direct links to what I was talking about earlier, I will tell you right up front, many of them are affiliate links. I will get paid off of some of that. And hey, if you decide to use some of the services, why not help a brother out? I mean, you are an abundant leader, right? And besides, somebody's going to get paid, so why not be somebody you like, know, and trust? And if that's somebody else, then hey, cool, go check them out. And by the way, I hope that you noticed that of all the automation that I use in my life and my business, I mentioned the ones, and I provided the links to the ones of the people who I know who created those products and services, Hanny Mora and Zachary Hedges, because I'm an abundant leader. I want to help them out as well. So go to menofabundance.com/224 to check out some of that automation. If you have any questions about the products or services themselves, I can possibly put you in contact with the creators of those products. If you have any questions about how I incorporate these products into my life and into my clients' lives and businesses, then I'll be glad to have that conversation with you as well. Now, go out and live your life of abundance and make sure to pay it forward.
That's all for today, Abundance Leaders. For more about our guests and the powerful information we shared with you today, be sure to sign up for our mailing list at menofabundance.com. We appreciate your time and look forward to hanging out with you on our next episode. So until then, be sure to pay it forward and live your life of abundance.